Welcome to Sittin' In. I'm Doug Cox, and my guest today is West Coast musician Rick Bockner. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thank you, Doug.
I don't really know where you're from anymore. You used to live...
It's hard to tell these days from the back of my car, I think.
I bet. You just came back from a tour of California.
I was down there for 3 weeks. We called it the El Nino Tour.
The El Nino Tour.
It's a bit of a washout.
You got hit with all kinds of floods. And...
Ooh. It was not a good night to go out and hear music. Almost any night we were there. Houses falling downhill and highways disappearing into the sea. And frog rain.
So it's good to be home then.
It is.
So Rick, that first song that you did, tell us about that song.
Well, that tune is sort of a El Nino-esque. I wrote it a couple of years ago. It's a very visual tune. It's when I introduce this when I'm performing, I always suggest people think of Raymond Chandler and this sort of detective 40s guy with his fedora pulled down and his collar pulled up, just walking in rain at night and just chewing on his thoughts, and it's kind of a nice mental space and very visual images all involving water.
Oh, nice.
And love and confusion and wet feet.
You've had quite a background in music. You were in California in the 60s, is that?
Yeah, well, I grew up
right?
in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was exposed to some great music there when I was in my early teens, and I've been playing guitar since I was about 7, so it's getting to be a while now. And then I discovered Delta Blues and got into that for a while. Picked up Stephen Grossman and Rory Block hitchhiking to California when I first drove out there at the age of 16. So that opened my eyes to a whole department of music that I hadn't encountered before, and I spent a few years learning from Stephen. And then I joined a band called Mad River in California. We started at Antioch College in Ohio, which was a famous liberal arts college, and they were so liberal they gave us credit for going to California and starting a rock band, and at least for a while.
That's my kind of school.
Yeah, I thought so too. And when they pulled the leash on us, we chewed it off and dropped out and stayed with the music. And Mad River recorded 2 albums for Capitol Records, which are still available in CD, believe it or not.
Oh, they've been reissued.
Yeah, they've been issued in Europe and in the States.
And you were doing gigs with the Grateful Dead and
Big Brother and Country Joe and all those bands, Steve Miller and Jefferson Airplane. And
so you kind of went. It sounds like your songs are blues influenced now, but they're certainly beyond blues now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I over the 40-something years I've been playing, it's been little love affairs with different styles, just to keep my head active and explore new harmonies. And so I started out with folk, and then I moved into blues and ragtime and old-timey, and then I played with the band for 4 years. Now, I don't know what you'd call what we did. It was
you were in the band?
Not the band,
okay.
but the band Mad River. And we did a lot. We did sort of, our first album was very much psychedelic, original stuff, and the second one we were all drifting back to our roots, which is much more in folk and country and old-timey and stuff. So we had a sort of a weird hybrid second album, which I still quite enjoy, but it was...
You'll have to play those for me.
Couldn't be classified, so consequently they dropped us at that point. And by that time my family had moved up to BC, and I came up to help my mom build her house and ended up sticking around the Kootenays for many years, playing there.
All right. So what are you going to play for us now?
Well, I've got a tune called, this is fairly recent, this is an instrumental, and it's actually going to be the title of the next CD, which is starting up here real soon. In another month or so we'll be in the studio. It's called Fret Lizard Rag. The CD is going to be called Fret Lizards, and it involves some guitar duets with the great Woody Mann.
Oh, great.
And the great Ken Ham, who's known to most of people in BC and Canada now, as well as 3 or 4 new tunes on it. So it's a little more of an instrumental album than Trouble with the Moon was. So.